You're listening to Unscripted Moments, a podcast about propaganda. On this episode, we are discussing In Flagrante Delicto, track 10 on 2017's Victory Lap LP.
So this is, this is the last Victory Lap song that we will ever talk about on the podcast. So we're finishing another full-length LP with this episode. I'm pretty happy about this.
Is it the last Victory Lap? God,
the last.
I know we normally do our favorite songs off the record. I didn't even think of that for this one.
It's okay. Do you have any off the top of your head that you felt like mentioning?
No.
I mean, I will go. My two favorites on this record, it's really funny. They might not be what people expect, but Cop Just Out of Frame and Call Before You Dig. I just think that they're unbelievably good songs, and they are super catchy and earwormy for me, and I think about them a lot. So, and I frequently will bust out at Palmerston and Ruby Street when I'm just walking down the street. So I think about how those two songs just linger with me, and I'm just going to go with those as my top two on this record.
Yeah, and for everyone listening, full disclosure, I don't think I've listened to Victory Lap entirely all the way through in over 5 years.
Wow. Yeah. It's I don't know why we haven't gotten to this episode and this particular song in Flagrante Delicto in this long. And it's kind of like a cognitive suicide issue like we had with the last episode, where I'm like, why did it take us this long? I've done 100 bonus episodes. Why did we never do these ones? So this is just one that I think for a lot of people just remained an under the radar song.
Which is shocking because it's actually a great song.
It's an incredible song.
We'll get to it a bit later when we talk about the music, but the riffage in this song is unreal.
It's unreal. And I actually posted an Instagram story yesterday when I was walking down the street in Toronto because no one ever did a cover for this song. And I've asked many, many times. I said, hey, I'm still looking for covers for Cognitive Suicide, for In Flagrante Delicto, for Unscripted Moment, and no one's ever done them. And I was listening to this song the other day, and I was like, man, this song slays. It would be really hard to cover this song. I even asked Chris at one point if he would do an acoustic rendition of this song, and he's like, I can't do it. I can't think of how I would even do that. So I was denied multiple times for covers on this song.
I watched Clem's playthrough of it, which is awesome.
Nice, yeah. So this song, I think, not only was kind of overlooked by fans, but it seems like the band themselves overlooked it for a long time because it only appears a handful of times live in the band's live sets. I have seen them play this live, though. I saw them play it at Lee's Palace in Toronto on May 24th, 2022. I saw them play this on May 27th, 2022 at London Music Hall. And I saw them play this on May 28th, 2022 at the Guelph Music Theatre.
So I guess I would have seen it too then.
Were you at one of those?
I was at the Guelph one.
Oh, did we even talk at that Guelph one?
Yeah. We spent time at the show together.
Did we really?
We did.
Who was that? Because Steven was there. My friend Jeff from Buffalo was there, and we met Conrad Sichler at that show.
It was pre me joining the show.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it was post us hanging out at
Snapcase
Earth Crisis.
It is so funny how I used to judge people in bands when they were like, I can't remember. Oh, man, I don't recall. And I was like, really? Your memory is that bad? And I have totally become that. That's me now. I am that person. That's so funny. I have absolutely no recollection of us being together in Guelph. I can't really remember being in Guelph.
We even ate at the same restaurant before the show.
Was that the one? Did we eat with Milkowski?
You sat on the back terrace. I sat inside because I came there after you, and I didn't know you were there, and I just happened to see you there.
Okay, because I was out there with Matt Milkowski and and Mandy was out there. Mandy's brother was out there. That's so weird, man. Because
Mandy and her brother it was after that show that Mandy and her brother came here the next morning for breakfast with us.
That's right. Okay, so you and I have been friends for longer than I was realizing, I think, at this point. Wow, time really is disgustingly fast sometimes. So you did see In Flagrante Delicto if you were at that show. It was still there on Canadian and American shows in the fall of 2022 as well, and they played it at a couple of those COVID tours in the West Coast when the band had to pack up shop in the middle of a tour, fly home, and then fly all the way back to LA for 2 shows a couple weeks later. But as far as I can tell of this recording in September of 2025, it was last performed on October 18th, 2022 at Terragram Ballroom in Los Angeles. So if you saw that stretch of shows in 2022, in May, and then in the fall of 2022, you've likely seen the only times the band has ever played this song.
Hey, why not?
Yeah. So anyway, before we get into the song, we can chat about whatever you like. Things are really busy around these parts right now. So what you got for me?
Well, we're currently sitting in my living room.
Yes, we're on the couch and on a chair watching Newcastle and
Wolverhampton.
Oh, Wolverhampton. Yes,
Newcastle is currently up 1-0.
Yeah, we're watching Fubo Sports. So we're doing a little bit of sports Saturday morning here in Hamilton. In person, I saw Propaganda last night. You saw the Hamilton Ticats last night.
The Hamilton Ticats beat up on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers last night.
Yeah, so we've got a lot going on right now. You and I are going to a Bills game this week.
We're going to Bills Miami this week, which will be great.
Yeah.
We're going to see Propaganda again tonight. We got a book event this afternoon.
Man, things are so crazy. Yes. Okay, so what should we talk about? How can we go through this or in an organized and systematic fashion so that we don't break the brains of the listeners?
So let's start with your Thursday night. You saw Blink and Alkaline Trio on Thursday night.
And Drug Church.
And Drug Church.
Yeah. I saw them at Darien Lake Amphitheater at Six Flags in
I've been there.
Yeah, it's halfway between Buffalo and Rochester, so it draws on both of those metro areas. And it's horrible. One of the worst places I've ever seen music because there's only one way in and one way out. So you sit in traffic the whole way in. And then if you don't leave 5 songs early, you're there for 2 hours after the show. My friend Jeff was there at Blink and he didn't leave early. And he said they were in traffic for an hour and a half leaving the parking lot.
I saw Springsteen there in 2002.
Yeah.
I think it was. And man, it was wild. It was just a bunch of the tailgate before in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of like Buffalo moms going insane.
That's awesome.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so I saw that. Blink is I've said on the show before that Blink-182 is the first band I ever saw. I ever had a ticket for their show. It was the first one I ever saw in February of 1998. And they played a couple of tracks that I would have seen them play back then. They played M&M's from Cheshire Cat. They played Josie from Dude Ranch.
They play Carousel?
No Carousel.
What?
No Carousel. But M&M's, I've seen them play Carousel fairly recently, I believe. So it was nice to see M&M's because I feel like I've seen Carousel a lot more recently than I've seen M&M's.
When last year Zoe and I saw No Pressure at Tie Down and No Pressure played Carousel, and I'm like, this is better than Blink playing Carousel. They're so much better.
Yeah, they're really, really good. So that was an okay show. Alkaline Trio sounded fine. Drug Church sounded fine. But man, I really just do not like Darien Lake. And we were leaving there and I was like, you know what? If I never come here again, I feel like I'll be okay. Like I cannot imagine who I would be willing to go to Darien Lake to see at this point. Cause it's the worst venue in the Buffalo area by far. And I just, I think that we were holding out hope that they were going to play 1 or 2 songs from the Skiba era of Blink-182, because Patrina and I both like the 9 record. It's got some of my favorite Matt Skiba material from any of his bands from the last 25 years.
What's the song that keeps mentioning San Diego? I love that song.
I mean, there's probably several of those.
But the Skiba era one.
Oh, I mean,
the one about like the hanging out at the Cure at the racetrack or whatever, the lyric.
Oh man, it's probably on California. It's probably on the California.
Yeah, it's on the
LP.
California record. I can't remember when that song's called, but I like that one.
Yeah, there's Yeah, so I don't actually know. There's a parking lot song. There's dude, I don't know, skating in the swimming pool. I can't remember. But so we saw that, and they did not do a Skiba collaboration live, even though Skiba was 10 feet away.
That's crazy.
It's got to be.
It's got to be politics.
It's got to be, and it's got to be Skiba's decision too, most likely, because he did come out and play a song with them in February at some like wildfire relief show in Los Angeles. But like, I guess if you're on tour and you go up there and you do your own hour-long set, and you come out and you go backstage and you start to chill out and mellow down for the night. And then ramping back up to come out and play another song or two again has got to be kind of taxing. So maybe it's Skiba's call to not come out. Who knows? But I was very bummed. That's why we went. We went to see if they would do Skiba era Blink songs with Matt and Tom on stage, and they didn't do it. So I think I'm done with Alkaline Trio and Blink-182. I think that was my crowning moment for them as bands.
It's gonna be it's gonna save you a lot of money on the bank account being done with them.
Yeah. I think those tickets in the seats in 50 rows back at Darien Lake were probably 130 each. So my bank account will be thankful that I am retiring Blink-182 live experiences. But I've seen them 3 times since 2022, so I'm good with it.
Yeah. And just for anyone listening, apologies for if you can hear me breathing extra loud
Very
today.
sensitive microphones.
Because Greg forgot his microphones for us to record today, and I pulled these 2 relics out of the basement.
Dude, they sound great.
I'm using a Rode shotgun mic that I normally have on a video camera.
Yeah.
And I'm holding it extremely far away from my face because it's really sensitive. And Greg is using, what model is that?
It's an AKG, and it looks like a C414.
It's a very, very old microphone.
Yeah, but we sound so great right now. So that was my Thursday, and then we both had something going on yesterday. So what did you guys do yesterday?
Yesterday, Zoe and I went to the Ticats game last night. It was Team Ted night at the stadium. So their GM, the Hamilton Ticats GM at the beginning of the season, was diagnosed with an extremely aggressive form of cancer, and they had a night last night to as his night. But he actually passed away yesterday morning on the day of they were honoring him. He happened to pass away. And he used to be the GM of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who they played last night. So it was a very emotional night in the stadium for both teams, and it was a good game. Opening play of the game. So Hamilton did the kickoff, first play of the game. Hamilton, interception, run back 40 yards. He got tackled on the 6. Next play, touchdown.
Nice.
So it started off as like a really good game for the Ticats, and ended with a big win. We walked back last night. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I love that your house is like 6 blocks away from the stadium, because like when we go to Bills games, I mean, it is like a grind going in and out of there, and it's all the way down in Orchard Park from up in the North Towns, but yeah, being able to walk to the game must be so nice.
You see like the giant migration of people walking along Cannon Street in Hamilton, like before and after the game. It's just like hundreds of people all walking, because everyone in the surrounding neighborhoods around the stadium, a lot of people have season tickets. So it's just like the great migration for the game and out after. It's awesome.
That's very cool. I love those. I love it when an urban center stadium or arena does that well. It's kind of like in Europe when you look at an aerial view of like soccer stadiums in like Barcelona or whatever, and it's just houses right up to the edge of the stadium with no surface level parking lots in sight.
There's not even underground parking.
Yeah.
It's you take transit to the stadium.
Yeah, and then you look at an overhead aerial view of like tons of American stadiums, and it's just parking lots as far as the eye can see. Then everybody sits in traffic for an hour and a half sometimes, leaving just trying to get out of there at night.
The city provides free public transport to the games, and
Nice.
they load up buses, and you can park at any of like the malls in the surrounding areas, and they just run buses for free to the stadium.
Amazing. Good. So you guys did that. I went to see Propaganda last night. Drove up from Buffalo yesterday, stopped by here, dropped off some stuff, and then drove up into the city. And I basically just I saw Sulin. Sulin had ordered a guitar cable of some kind mailed to my house, so I brought Sulin's guitar cable. Saw Sulin before the show, gave them the cable, and then just went for a super long walk all over Toronto and went through some parks. And then I was just walking down the street and I ran right into Steven. So then Steven and I went on a super long walk together. And then we met up with my friend Jeff. But we saw some cool folks last night. Jeff and Steven and I went into the show at doors, and Jamila, our friend on Discord, was right against the barricade waiting for the show, had gone in. So we chatted with Jamila for a while, and then my friend Josh from Last Believer, a Good Riddance podcast, showed up. And so then we hung with Josh all night long as well. And we had a really, really nice time. And I met your friend Blair, who I had met at some 2022 shows. And then also Patrick Mullen from Minneapolis, who was a guest on the podcast a while back, was there. And he does all the genius.com annotations for propaganda lyrics. So Patrick was there, and also the owner of Francis, the vegan restaurant in Minneapolis that has the propaganda lyrics for Potemkin City Limits painted as a mural on the wall in the restaurant. Met Brendan from Francis, and also Drew Dorfler was there. Drew has a guest vocal spot on the recent Albright Monument Baghdad cover that we did. So met Drew and had a really, really nice time. Oh, and I met Rick Jackson finally. Rick lives in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he was there last night, and we finally got to hang out, and Rick will be there tonight, so we'll get to meet him too. So really, really fun time. It's fun going to a city that I live super far away from, and then kind of just blending right into a group at the show.
And I want you to take out your phone right now and read something. I need you to read the text exchange between us last night when you were asking me if who you saw at the show was my brother.
Oh, okay. Okay, so hold on a second. I said, Blair found me. I remember him. And you said, awesome. My brother is there too. And I said, haha, amazing. Is he wearing a Blind Guardian shirt? Because I'm 99% sure I saw him. And you said, that's probably him. Only 2 people in this region regularly wear Blind Guardian shirts, and one of them is texting you right now, so it must be him. So I was standing in line, and a guy that just for some reason, I was like, I know that guy. And he was wearing a Blind Guardian shirt, and he walked right past me in line, and I didn't clock it immediately, but that guy just stuck in my brain. So when you told me that your brother was there, I was like, I guarantee you I saw Steve's brother walk past me in line.
And you've met my brother before at the Guelph show.
That is... Oh boy, man, I really wish I could remember stuff, but I just can't. And I think I've just come to accept this about myself, that my memory is ruined forever.
Yeah, but we got a nice day. We had a lovely breakfast this morning.
Mm-hmm. The Propaganda set last night was really good. They sounded awesome. We got a bunch of new songs from the new record. And for some reason, like for me, a new album with them doesn't fully sink in until I see the songs performed live. Like I remember not liking Failed States, the album, until I saw them play a show in St. Louis on that tour, and then they opened up with Note to Self, and by the end of the song, I was like, Failed States is the best album I've ever heard. So last night, we saw a ton of songs. We saw Stargazing, Guiding Lights, At Peace, No Longer Young, Fire Season.
Cat Guy.
We saw Cat Guy, so that's 6 right there. And I'm trying to think if there was more, but we saw at least 6 new ones that I can remember off the top of my head. I'm going to go to my Apple Music here really quick and see if there was anything else from At Peace that we saw last night. And obviously this is all super... we saw Rented PA. We saw Prismatic Spray. So we saw 8 songs from the new record last night. And I am predicting that tonight we will see Vampires Are Real and Benito's earlier work. So I'm thinking that by the end of this weekend of shows, I will have seen like 10 songs from At Peace Live.
Your prediction, how different will the set list be tonight than last night, do you think?
I would say maybe 2 to 3 songs.
That's it?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be super varied, but I do think we'll get a couple of different ones.
My hopes for tonight... Mm-hmm. If I could just put my wishes into the universe.
Of course.
State Lottery.
Oh, never. Not going to happen. I know it's your favorite song. It is not. I'm going to say.
I want State Lottery. I want Refusing to Be a Man.
I'm going to crush your dreams. I'm a dream crusher.
I want Purina Hall of Fame.
Oh, my Lord. You're asking a lot here. It's not going to happen. I wish these things for you.
They just never play all of my favorite songs.
Yeah. However, you really will enjoy. You're really going to like No Longer Young.
Which I'm fine if they just play No Longer Young and then we just get to go home.
Yeah. So tonight I'm going on my 3rd show in a row. I saw Blink and Alkaline Trio stood up the whole freaking time. I saw Propaganda last night, stood up the whole time. Tonight I'm balcony.
We're sitting.
Straight balcony.
Seats.
Yeah, I will be on my bum because I am feeling every bit of my 41 3/4 years at this point. My back was sore all night. I was so physically miserable, but it was an awesome show and they sounded so good. And then I got to chat with Todd after the show. I got to talk with Chris a little bit after the show. And I met Damien from Fucked Up. That was super nice because Damien's been on the podcast before on the State Lottery episode. So last night was a good one. I'm happy.
I'm glad it worked out and that you had fun.
Yeah, they did play. Apparently, I'm a PC fascist. They played homophobe. Or they played only good fascist is a dead fascist.
Do you get a LaPlante song?
No LaPlante. But I mean, kind of because they did dead fascist.
Yeah.
So the only difference is they didn't go chicken fight. So, but it was a really, really nice time. They did they did Victory Lap. They did Night Letters. They did Without Love. So we had a good set.
Maybe we'll get to stand up and be counted.
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah. On George, they just wheel an electronic drum set out of stage left, and Jordan moves from his real drum set to his electronic drum set from the attic that they recorded that song in like 1997. Oh my gosh, good time. So yeah, I had a good time. I'm excited for today. We have a book event at Emissions Records in Toronto, which I'm told is a very wonderful record store.
Awesome record store. While we're there, we kind of came up with this idea this morning, but I'm going to record an episode from the record store today.
Yeah. I'm going to turn Steve loose with this Zoom H4n recorder. So if you happen to go to that, Steve is likely going to accost you with a Rode shotgun mic and a recording device. So it'll be a good time. But I'm very excited to meet some people. I have 17 copies of the book. We have 11 copies of the double CD. I got some posters, got some buttons, got some stickers. So we're going to give out some free stuff. We're going to sell some stuff. And maybe I'll pay back the publisher someday.
And hopefully 18 people don't show up.
I'm a little nervous that there will either be no one or way too many. And I'm like, crap. Because getting these books over here is really stressful for me because
we had to covertly sneak them across the border on a bike ride.
We did, yeah. So everything that's here has been covertly brought over to Canada over the last month. So hopefully the Department of State or whatever is not listening. Hopefully the State Department's not listening to our podcast because,
Well, yeah, hopefully, especially they're not listening because I need to cross the border on Thursday.
Yeah. For the Dolphins and Bills. So we've got a good time. I'm excited to see Propaganda with you and Zoe and Patrina tonight, and we'll have a good time. But then we get to see the Bills this week, so we get to see Joshua Patrick Allen, who you have no idea what shambles I was in after that Ravens Bills game. And I went back and I watched all of the replays and everything. And I was like, I cannot believe I turned this off 10 minutes before it got absolutely bananas. But I'm consumed with regret.
Everyone I talked to stopped watching the game. Zoe and I kept watching. My dad kept watching the whole game. And I was like, I think we're the only people that watched the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and there's a really good Locked on Bills episode because the host of Locked on Bills, the podcast, lives in North Carolina, and he wound up being at the game in Orchard Park in Buffalo, and so his episode was really, really good because he was talking about the game experience of watching it go up and down the whole entire time. So that was a really good episode if you're looking for a recap about that.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that this week.
Okay, so should we chat a little bit about In Flagrante Delicto?
Get your hands upon this novel creature's flesh, the neurochemistry of all profound regret. Trust me, kid, You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, okay, so let's start. The opening chime, the opening iPhone ding, actually had quite the discussion on our Discord.
It did.
And we are going to replay that discussion, and we're going to do impressions of the people that commented. So I'll go first, and I have Danik.
Okay, go for it.
So I'm going to do my best Danik impression.
Perfect.
I think it's cruel to start a song with a computer tone or phone notification. Always gives me a jolt of, shit, what now? So it's the last song to finally grow on me from Victory Lap. For years I didn't like it, but more in my recent re-listens I'm starting to come around. Good for propaganda for writing songs that take years to make themselves known to you somehow.
Uncanny.
You like my Danik?
Uncanny. I mean, obviously, that is exactly the vocal register that he talks in.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, so I guess I have Dr. Corey.
Yeah.
So this is what orthodontists speak like, I guess. Danik just reminded me about the text tone that opens the song. I have a vague memory of Chris saying somewhere that they paid Apple $50,000 to use that tone in the song. Pretty sure he was joking. Was he? And to save you some research time, I just looked up that tritone in my phone, that tone in my phone, and it's called tritone. All right, that's what orthodontists talk like.
And now I have Paul responding to that.
Go for it.
That's a misnomer. My name is Paul. A tritone is the interval between one note and the flat fifth. Think the first two notes of the Simpson theme or the bass line to Deep Cover by Dre and Snoop.
Okay, I mean, that was definitely a Paul. That was very good, Paul. So Tyler, who is new to our Discord, as of pretty recently chimed in, and Tyler said, "Since that song has existed, I expect to hear the opening riffs every time I hear that iPhone notification sound." That's a Tyler, right?
I nailed it.
Yeah, that's a good Tyler.
So next comment is from Jamie. I'm going to do this in my normal voice because it is a serious comment. A disturbing song. I don't know. Is it about sexual desire? Is it about how sexual desire can provide an impulse for maladaptive behavior, doing strange, perhaps aggressive sexual misconduct type of things, or other things that are just a bit kinky and hard to navigate, like webcamming? The song points out it's normal to have weird feelings about one's desires, and the line, "Don't be so hard on yourself, you're just like everybody else," seems to give both assurance to someone who may be worried they crossed a line, but perhaps is more of coming to terms with desire, but also conveys that sadly sexual misconduct is omnipresent. The line and accompanying music, "You just had to get your hands on this novel creature's flesh," is terrifying, made worse by my mishearing this as novel creature's neck. This aggressiveness of the song also reminds me of associations that have been made between violence and sex, which is so sad and strange, yet true on a global scale. I just came here for the line, "You ain't seen nothing yet," to see if it might be an oddly placed BTO reference, but probably not.
So the thing is that Jamie is saying here to me is that the song is very disturbing and that there is a fine line between kink and sexual aggression, and how there is almost an inherent conflict that has to happen between those two things in order for things to be consensual and equal within sexual relationships. And it's a really, really hard thing to do, because I would imagine when people are growing up and they have sexual experiences, they do things in the moment that are just very regrettable, that I don't know, they do them and then they cause pain, and then how you react to those things later on. It's a real challenge, and it's a really hard thing to talk about, because I cannot even imagine how many negative sexual experiences people have had with past partners in their lives where they just kind of like never talked about it, never processed it. Those relationships ended, and then they just live with that forever, where one person tries not to think about it, the other person tries not to think about it, and then they just never process what had actually happened.
That's why, and we've talked about this before, but that's why everybody should go to therapy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, think about that. So I really do appreciate Jamie wrestling with this in real time. And so I really do like his comment, too, about the aggressiveness of the song, because the song is so heavy. And the music, I mean, and he says it reminds him of associations that have been made between violence and sex. So it's sad, strange on a global scale. I really enjoyed this comment. So thank you, Jamie. And Jamila, who I actually met at the show last night for the first time. Jamila flew up to Toronto to attend the show. And Jamila says, "I interpret the song as being a highly critical song of rape culture. In flagrante delicto means a criminal act done during sex for all intents and purposes. And what criminal act is usually done during sex that's either rationalized or internalized? I feel like the song's also self-critical. While we hold moral compasses about larger assault cases like Bill Cosby, etc., there are many times we ourselves are conditioned to accept rape culture, whether conscious or not. I think the webcam line is metaphorical, particularly since the glass houses line follows it." Thank you, Jamila.
Great comment.
Yeah, really good. And all we did is, like I said, hey, does anybody have anything they want me to say on the show about In Flagrante Delicto? And this is what came out. So people have thoughts on this overlooked tune, which I really appreciate.
And then next up we have Corey again.
Yeah, do you want me to do Corey?
You nailed the Corey impression.
All right,
so
here's what orthodontists sound like when talking about propaganda songs In Flagrante Delicto. I went to a very short distance down the rabbit hole on this whole text tone that opens in Flagrante, found an article that explains that it was originally developed in the 1990s by a musician for a product called SoundJam MP. The musician, Kelly Jacklin, used a digital marimba and fed it into a software program to randomly generate sequences of 3 to 4 notes. He chose one titled 158-marimba.aiff. SoundJam MP was eventually acquired by Apple, and Apple decided to use 158 Marimba as the iPhone's text tone. Not sure who changed the name to Tritone, but according to Hodgert, that's a poor name. Anyways, this is the kind of minutia that a lesser podcast would ignore, but that's why I love Unscripted Moments. Oh, thank you so much. We wheel and deal in minutia here.
My favorite part about that is that you did Corey impressions twice, and it was different both times.
Of course it was. I can't recreate what I did the first time. That is a very high expectation for me to recreate the original orthodontist impression that I did like 7 minutes ago. Anyway, thanks to our Discord folks for such a lively discussion. We appreciate you all, and we appreciate you chiming in. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it's I'd say of all the ones we've posted asking for feedback on, that one had among the highest discussion.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to chat about the music here for a few minutes before we get into the lyrics?
Yeah, let's just talk about how much this song rips.
It rips. I love it. Okay,
Straight ripper.
So I have what may be a hot take here. Are you ready for it?
Hit me.
I think that when they do the iPhone ding, it should just immediately go into George's snare roll.
The snare roll?
Ding, or it's like like I don't think it needs that.
I think had it go straight from the iPhone chime into the snare roll to that part of the song,
It would be a propaganda classic.
I mean, I think it kind of already is, but I think it changes the dynamic of the song.
Yeah.
It gives it so much more of a we're just here to thrash vibe.
I wish it started more urgently.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that first bit is needed. So the opening song, I feel like should just be George's snare roll where it's like ding and then immediately George, right? Like the first 18 seconds, if I think about the song, in my opinion, the first 18 seconds doesn't serve the song.
It doesn't add anything to the song.
It doesn't. And they never go back to it. So I'm like, if they just got rid of that, I almost feel like they should do a version of this song where they just do it from the snare roll as the opening.
When they play live, that's how they should do it.
Really, for sure. Like, so, Tom Petty said this, don't bore us, get to the chorus, right? So this is one of those notions of they really could have gotten rid of the first 18 seconds and just really brought us in hard.
So if you guys are, Propaganda, if you're listening to this and you're looking for,
Our opinion?
some unsolicited producing advice.
We're giving them advice. Yeah. So do you agree with me?
I 100% agree with you.
Isn't that funny?
When I was listening to it a bunch yesterday, and every time I listened to it, I was like, song should start here.
Yes. So I don't know, man.
Just like my take of State Lottery and Refusing to Be a Man should be reversed on that record.
Hey, I was actually talking about this last night. I showed somebody my resequenced Less Talk More Rock playlist at the concert hall last night, and they were nodding when they were looking at my order. And I have Refusing to Be a Man and State Lottery reversed because once you said it, I couldn't unsee it.
State Lottery is an album closer.
It is, yeah. So anyway, so the song is 2 minutes and 36 seconds. The last 3 seconds are silence. So if you take off that first 17 or 18 seconds, I feel like it would serve the song because it would just be angry and it would be as spitting as Letters to a Young Anus, also on this record. There's a few things I love about this song. I love the and the screams.
Yep.
I
love the
yeah. And like right before he does the ridiculous things, he does that there's that big scream. I don't know if it's Todd or if it's Chris. I'm not sure who is screaming in the middle of the song. But yeah, there's some cool stuff in this too.
I wish Propaganda would use the way that Hetfield uses a yeah.
So Chris did have some good grunts last night, especially on At Peace last night. The song At Peace, it was really good. Yeah, but the song, very thrashy, very metallic, great cymbals, great bass riff into the vocals. It is a very, very good song, and I regret that I overlooked it for so long.
It's how like we're like, okay, this is a Chris song, this is a Todd song, this is Jord really shines in this song. In this song, everyone has their moment. This is the ultimate full band song.
Yeah. Was this song a one that you overlooked for a long time as well?
I like this song from the get-go on Victory Lab.
Nice. Very good. Any other musical comments, or should we chat about the lyrics for a bit?
Let's go lyrics.
All right. So we open with some French.
Après la petite mort. Oh, God, I can't even. I don't have my glasses. Après la petite mort, homie, you don't want no more.
So is La Petite Mort, is it a common French phrase?
Not in Quebec.
Okay. I looked it up, and apparently it's a euphemism for orgasm. And is the translation correct? The little death?
Yeah, that's. I mean, so little death is petit mort, but après means after.
After the little death.
Yeah.
So apparently it's a euphemism. So basically what I'm thinking here is after sex, after orgasm, one partner, aka the homie, loses desire or interest in his partner. And the line highlights that sudden emotional shift that men are notorious for after orgasming, and then essentially becoming a different person to their partner, which I think is a pretty common experience, unfortunately, for a lot of women in the world.
It's a very unfortunate trait.
Yeah, it is. As far as I can tell, universally a male quality. When I say quality, I mean definitely not quality as in good.
And like we don't exactly have many female voices on this show to give us
Right.
a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely so I can see Chris like noticing this as a trend in the world, and trying to put himself into the shoes of maybe women who were feeling very affectionate and positive towards their partner, and then this sudden thing happens where they're having this moment of great intimacy, and then all of a sudden everything changes and the air in the room just deflates, and then all of a sudden they feel like used and discarded. So that's kind of what I'm getting out of this opening line. So then we have that surge of dopamine has turned to dust. So dopamine being the brain chemical that fuels desire and excitement leading up to having sex. And then the levels drop, and then there's just like no more dopamine. And so it's like, bye.
It's funny because like in my day-to-day life, what brings me dopamine is the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and bike riding.
Yeah.
This is such an interesting tune to chat about because we're sitting here in your living room talking about having sex, and it's kind of funny. I'm having an interesting moment here in my brain. All right, what do we got next?
Save for the Coolidge effect, postcoitum omne tristest.
Okay, so I had to look this up. I had never heard of the Coolidge effect. Have you ever heard of this?
Never.
So the Coolidge effect is widely viewed in animal research, documented over and over and over. The biological tendency to quickly lose sexual interest in the same partner but regain it with novelty. So whenever there's something new that gets added later, it increases the excitement again. But postcoitum omne trist est is Latin, and then I think what it means is after sex everything is sad, and so it's maybe suggesting some kind of melancholy after it's all said and done, which I don't know. So that's kind of my best guess on this. But there's tons and tons of biological research in the world about the Coolidge effect, which people can easily Google if they never have.
Is the Coolidge effect the Hollywood version of the Coolidge effect? Anytime Jennifer Coolidge is in a movie, you hear her voice.
Yeah, she's great, by the way. Okay, so that fine line between arousal and disgust where, I don't know, I was thinking about this and desire suddenly flipping to revulsion once that immediate gratification is achieved. It's like partially like disgusting, like very disgusting how people become vessels for use, for like temporary use before discarding. but there's like, it just shows you just how shallow most sexual attraction actually is.
It's funny because so I recently I'm sure you've read it, but have you read Brave New World?
Yes, years ago.
So this kind of this line that we're on here reminded me of how like the human to human interaction in Brave New World go, because they've if you remember like the whole line of like everybody belongs to everybody, and like they've removed emotion from everything, and like emotion doesn't exist anymore, and people are just able to be with whoever, and it's almost like a transactional thing. So like the world that Huxley created in Brave New World is a world that eliminates any of this from happening because emotion doesn't exist anymore.
Interesting. I may have to revisit that book. That's one of those books that continues to pop up in references with each passing year. So I may have to go back to that because I think I read it in high school. I think I was forced to read it, and you never enjoy the books that you're forced to read and talk about, where your English teacher in a classroom like harps on one line over and over and over, and you're like, "Can we just move on, bro? It's been enough." Yeah. So yeah, the usury aspect of how, you know, once that self-serving moment is over, how it's like, well, see you later, and then the other person is just there, like left to, you know, emotionally clean up their day and move on with their lives after this, you know, after they were discarded in a really sudden manner. Whenever it's like, oh man, I think this person really likes me. And then they get what they wanted all along. And then all the effort that they were expending to get this person to like them, to have sex, is immediately gone. And then they're like, okay, bye. And it's over.
It's literally the subject of so many like coming of age television shows and movies.
Yeah.
This exact situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's in so many 80s movies, right? I'm thinking of... I think in Fast Times at Ridgemont High was one of the big moments that I ever saw this in a movie, where one guy, they had this like really spontaneous sexual interaction, and then the guy just flees the second it's over. And I'm sure a lot of people can picture that exact scene from that movie if they've seen it. And yeah, I'm just seeing this as what this song is saying. That moment in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And I wish I could remember that character's name. I may have to Google it before this episode is over. It was Mike Damone. But where are we at here?
Well, I think we're at when the act is complete, you recoil to your feet, excuse yourself, and stare into the mirror in disbelief.
Oh, man. So, like, imagine after being, like, you know, thinking somebody likes you. So imagine you're a woman and a guy likes you, and then you have sex, and then they do that flee thing, right? And then you're just, like, in your room.
What just happened?
And then you go into the bathroom and you're just like staring at yourself in the mirror after being completely used, and then abandoned very suddenly. The emotional weight of what happens, I imagine, would begin to sink in pretty quickly. And then you're staring at yourself in the mirror wondering, am I valuable, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's awful.
So let's see. Then we've got social cohesion be damned. You just had to get your hands on this novel creature's flesh. What does this line mean for you?
I mean, I just want to highlight the way that he says novel creature's flesh. Mm-hmm. It really dehumanizes the entire experience.
It's a novelty, right?
Yeah,
it's a novelty,
and whenever I hear and see a line like that, it brings me back to that horrific book I read called Tender as the Flesh.
Oh, yeah.
And it just makes me a bit queasy to my stomach to hear people kind of referred to in that way after reading that book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, the novel creature is like newness, right? Someone that you haven't had sex with yet. So the tendency would be to like put in a lot of effort in order to have this one-time novel experience. And then as soon as that novelty has been satisfied and worn off, then you have that fleeing characteristic, right? There's no love behind it. There's no greater meaning behind it. It's just like purely a novelty then for the sake of like, you know, blowing them off and and ditching and going to get fast food at the drive-thru. Ugh.
Then we got the neurochemistry of all profound regret.
So the regret would probably be the person that believed in the other person's promises and words, right? So there's like something involved in brain chemicals, prolactin crashes, dopamine crashes that are tied with like leading to a regretful experience. I'm just kind of like going off of what I was able to find.
And in no way are either of us any form of experts on brain chemicals.
Of course not. Oh my God.
Like that is just a world that I don't understand anything about.
Yeah. I was like looking this up and I saw the word prolactin, and it's the first time I've ever heard that word in my entire life, but apparently it's involved in brain chemistry. So I'm just like, I just want you guys to remember when you're listening to this that we're idiots in a living room in Hamilton with soccer on the TV.
And like Greg is still wearing his pajamas.
I'm in my pajamas, right? And this is a really, really heavy song, and it's
We're trying to keep it as light as possible given the topic of the song, and it's not, is it inappropriate? Maybe, but it's not easy for us to get through this.
It's not. And you have to remember that I've also been doing this podcast nonstop for 5 years, and we've had so many heavy conversations on this podcast, and I think that's why I'm actually realizing that I've avoided talking about this song for a really long time, and that this is actually probably the best way for us to talk about it because we're having a nice casual Saturday morning, and it's making talking about this extremely unpleasant topic a little easier to get through. But
yeah, like we're not mocking it. We're just trying to get through it.
We really are. Okay, because we're about to finish Victory Lap.
Trust me, kid, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, the worst is yet to come, right? You think this experience was bad, just wait until you see what the men of the world have for you next.
Yeah.
Right? Ugh. There may be consequences that you carry with for the rest of your life. You might never get over these one experiences. And this kind of ties back to what Jamila was saying about the critique of rape culture, and like date rape culture, and also just like general nasty, like using people for sex and like being like, oh, we're just hanging out, right? And like reducing the seriousness of all interactions in a way that serves you to be able to walk away consequence free from an action that may be unpleasant for somebody else, that you then never have to deal with their emotional fallout because you've moved on after you've had an orgasm, So you think this experience is bad, wait till you go back on those dating apps and you find the next guy down the line, because it could get a lot worse.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like there's always worse out there. Mm-hmm. Always.
Absolutely. Ooh. So the ridiculous things in service of self-esteem to be desired, some basic human need. And, this kind of reminds me of how people go to the extremes just to feel wanted or attractive or, agree to things that they don't feel comfortable with in order to keep the attention of this person who is in front of you, who is giving you attention, making you feel seen in the moment, knowing that they could be the person that just, has sex with you and then ditches. But maybe you're like, oh, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? So
yeah, and this, your comment of people going extremes to feel wanted or attractive, that kind of ties in with the new trend kind of going on through toxic male culture of the looks maxing. Have you heard of that?
No.
I wish Zoe were in the room right now so she could explain it a bit better. But from my very limited knowledge, it's these things that like men are doing to like try and become more attractive. Like the way she like it's been described is like like you do exercise like putting your tongue against the roof of your mouth to like define your jawline and just a whole bunch of stuff. Like
I'm doing it right now. Can you tell a difference?
Your jawline looks unbelievable.
Unbelievable jawline.
But yeah, like it's just all these really, really harmful things that people are doing to their bodies to try and become more attractive, essentially.
Yeah, and
shaming people who are not doing them.
Well, and I had another thought too. When you want to be desired it leads you to do things that maybe are risky as well. So there's maybe some bad decisions that go into wanting to be accepted as well. So people can put themselves into sketchy situations just out of the mental peer pressure of like wanting to fit in, wanting to be cool, not wanting people to think that you're a certain way about something. And it just got me thinking about the kids as well. My kids, I want to make sure that this is something that we're keeping an eye on as parents for our kids to be doing too.
Being a parent's not easy, man.
It's really hard.
And we got a lot of parents that listen to this show.
Yeah.
And I am not a parent, but I can't imagine what it must be like to have to navigate this world with children.
I know. Every year it just gets more and more and more confusing. Like the thought of like a kid going home from school and like logging on to like an AI chat thing and then just like having long conversations with AI and having like no idea of where that will go and being like, AI, what do I do to make myself look more attractive to this like boy or girl that I like in my school? And then who knows where that goes?
Yeah, the AI is not going to give you anything meaningful.
Yeah. So the next line, the moralistic glee that we all take in the public airing of fellow hapless humans' sins. This is kind of maybe like a superiority thing where like you just want to be the one that is not being ridiculed, not being looked out, and how we enjoy like when something happens and we can like point fingers and shame other people, as long as like, hey, it's not me being shamed, right?
So a very clear example of this comes to mind. I can't believe that I'm going to admit that I watched this television program. But did you ever watch the Tonight Show when Jay Leno was the host?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Do you remember the actor Hugh Grant?
Of course.
Do you remember when Hugh Grant was arrested for soliciting a prostitute named Divine Brown?
I do.
So Hugh Grant was his first television appearance after that was on the Jay Leno show. And I distinctly remember the way the interview started. People could feel free to look it up online because he was married to Elizabeth Hurley at the time. Mm-hmm. And I remember Jay Leno just started the interview off like, what were you thinking? And everyone just dying laughing at this very real human situation that's taking place.
Yeah.
Where laughter should have been the last thing that anyone, but they were using the situation and making a mockery of it, which at the time made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the other day, I was listening to Tool, the band, and they have a song.
Really?
Yeah. They have a song called Vicarious on the 10,000 Days album about that exact phenomenon where, how people just get glee out of watching, how like we watch people get killed on TV, how we, watch other people endure scandal and humiliation and embarrassment, and how we just like turn up the volume on the TV and how it draws us in and how we lean in at such bad things, right? So that kind of reminds me of that Hugh Grant example. Look.
Yeah. I see that Zoe came back in the room. Zoe, would you mind coming over here and please? You probably heard it while I was in the other room talking about looks maxing, but can you please give us the actual definition of exactly what it is so that people know, because mine was not good.
Looks maxing is a term used in the manosphere, which is the online kind of community of incels, men's rights activists. And so looks maxing is a kind of like a trend that's happening online where young boys are going to extreme lengths to fit beauty standards for men. And this can go as far as facial surgeries. It's getting really intense. So, and it's linked to a lot of like, of these cases of kind of like toxic influencers or, harmful people online convincing young boys to kill themselves because they don't fit into these standards. So a lot of that, like the jawline, it's a lot to do with like how your eyes look and the shape of them. So it's quite intense.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Thank
weighing
you.
in. Yeah, thanks, Zoe. I love when Zoe makes a podcast appearance. How many times have you been on the podcast now? 5, 6 times? We drag them in. And it's like, all right, comment on it because we are dumb.
Just by happen to be in the room, and I like, because Zoe's significantly smarter and more well-spoken than I am, so it should be her talking about this, but not me, but you guys are stuck with me being stupid and embarrassing.
Oh, we have more information. Okay, so the next line, well, they're rubber, you're glue, your webcam stares back at you, and the sprawling subdivisions of glass houses housed within. And Jamila commented on this lyric earlier, but I love the rubber glue. I'm rubber, you're glue, what you say bounces off me, sticks to you, that childhood retort, right? And it's like, the suggestive of hypocrisy. People who judge other people are also equally vulnerable. It's very, very possible that you could be delighting in someone's humiliation out in the world, but then you go home and you're turning on your own webcam and like sitting there lonely with no one around you. So you could be out in the world being one of the most vocal delighters of public humiliation, then going back and like being your own like solo like self, just sitting there completely lonely by yourself too.
Like, the anonymity of the internet has really helped people and facilitated the mocking of others for everything that we're talking about. Like, it's only good at getting worse.
Yeah. I every day I think about how, like my entire career and job and stuff is on the internet, and I just wonder how much longer I can continue doing that kind of work, where I'm just like on the computer and on the internet all the time, watching all these things, consuming all this, having it stick to me year after year after year, and wishing I could just get out of all of it. It's very strange. But the glass houses is interesting because, I don't know, like, imagine if everybody out on the street, imagine if you just had all your windows open all the time and you, like, had no interest in privacy whatsoever, and everybody could just, like, look at you all the time. So, like, what you do on the internet is, like, discoverable,
Yeah.
So, like, we say that we want privacy and things like that with our blinds drawn and our shades down on our houses, but then you do stuff on the internet that's like discoverable.
Yeah, I'm like, Zoe, shut the blinds. I'm putting on Primus and dancing.
Yeah.
That's
So
basically what it comes down to.
yeah, so we like say that we want privacy and things like that, but then we like our internet activities are glass houses as well.
Yeah, and that's maybe something that the average person isn't really understanding, is that literally anything you do on a computer, assume it's public access.
Yeah. But don't be so hard on yourself. You're just like everybody else. Like, so there's the closing reassurance that shame and regret are universal. And it's about as certain as dying and being taxed by the government.
And I think it's, you're just like everybody else. I think it's the appropriate way to end the song because it's a very difficult topic but reminding everyone that, like, at the end of the day, like, we're all the same.
Yeah. And, continuing to analyze your own behavior and reactions to situations, and
Being self-aware really helps.
yeah, and if you're like in a new relationship where you might be on the verge of like harming another person for your own self-serving interest, maybe try to not. Maybe be like, you know what? Maybe we're not compatible. Maybe we're not meant to be together. Maybe before I harm you by having sex with you one time and then abandoning you in your apartment while I go out and get Jack in the Box afterwards, maybe just go out and get Jack in the Box instead. You know what I mean?
Empathy goes a long way.
Yeah.
But it's weird how you just straight up went with Jack in the Box.
Well, it's what I grew up with. Like Jack in the Box is like this fast food restaurant.
That was like Taco Bell, like it's just the go-to.
Yeah, yeah. It is interesting that I didn't say Taco Bell because I love Taco Bell. Why didn't I say Taco Bell? So maybe if you're in a situation where you're about to do something where you know this person is not someone you're really interested in, maybe just go get Taco and Regret, which is, as the song suggests, universal.
I think we just figured out like a life hack here.
This is really interesting. This is what happens when you do Saturday in-person episodes in the living room with Zoe's Plant Shelf, which is a notorious podcast plant shelf at this point, by the way.
It's gotten much bigger since the last time you were here. Like the vines are kind of all over the ceiling. They're going everywhere.
A lot of people wrote in Zoe's Plant Shelf for the year-end episode last year, which was pretty funny. I was like, if you've made it all the way, send me an email, Zoe's Plant Shelf.
So I went online and I found some online comments on the YouTube for this. I didn't write the people's usernames because...
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, whatever. First comment, in my opinion, it's the best song on this album. There's all hardcore, metal, punk, lyrics, moral, ethics.
Yeah, it's the full package. Like I said, if I feel like if it didn't have that 17-second intro that was slow, a lot more people would have talked about this song a lot more heavily when this album came out.
Next comment, Catholic Guilt the Song.
That's, Catholic Guilt the Song. Okay, interesting, because the song doesn't explicitly tie in religion in the lyrics, but that's somebody brought them their own life experiences to the lyrics and brought in their that comment. So that's pretty cool. The way that all of our backstories inspire the way that we see these songs.
Exactly.
Right?
Next one is Whole Effing Thing Gave Me Chills.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a song that though you have to like decipher a lot of the lyrics because there's some Latin, there's some French. So you got to look up what the Coolidge effect is. You got to do a little bit of work.
And so those are the 3 comments we had. So our takeaway from this is that, yeah, you know, it's another difficult topic to talk about. And our last victory lap.
Yeah. What an interesting morning.
And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably musically my favorite song on Victory Lap.
That's awesome.
I think this song just is an absolute ripper.
Yeah, and that little lead riff too.
Yeah.
Like there's some really interesting stuff here. I really enjoy this one. I came to realize after we started doing the podcast how little real work I had given Victory Lap for the first like 2.5 years that it was out. So I'm really glad that doing this podcast really kind of brought me around on a record that I overlooked because I was such a supporting cast in Failed State's hardcore lifer that Victory Lap was a long time coming for me to really appreciate it as a whole.
What if they played this tonight, just randomly? What if they happen to play? The chances of them playing this tonight, on the day we record the episode, would be crazy, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna hold out hope.
And then you could like whip out your phone, get like a little clip of it, and put a clip of them playing it the day we recorded the episode. That would be unbelievable. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But it would be unbelievable if it did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's really funny is like anything that you would imagine this band doing that you hope they're going to do, they will not do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that just won't happen.
But that's kind of what makes them special, and that they don't do anything for anyone but themselves.
Yeah. They really don't.
And I think that's, you know, you're never going to get the Propaganda Greatest Hits tour. Mm-hmm. You're never going to get they're never going to be a legacy act.
Never. And Todd even said that on stage last night. He goes, why would you want to play the same old stuff that you've always played 100,000 times over and over year after year?
Exactly. That's why you should play State Lottery, because you don't play it.
Ever. Like, ever. It's been, I bet it's probably been more than 10 years since they played it, you know? There's recordings on YouTube out there of them doing it, but it is. Well, and I actually commented recently on Chris's Patreon about this. I was like, honest, good faith question. Why don't you guys play Preteen McCarthyist or Resisting Tyrannical Government, both of which are absolutely perfect songs? in favor of something like Nation States or PC Fascist or Dead Fascist, which you play over and over and over on every tour. And his comment was like, yeah, we just kind of, over the years, just moved on, from those. And I mean, I got to tell you, though, the last night, the 3 Less Talk More Rock songs they played, the reactions were bananas.
I'm sure.
So you're going to see some good crowd action tonight when they bust those songs out. But Steve, what a delight. Thanks for hanging out with
we
me.
didn't give it a rating.
Ah, man. It's hard to rate.
I'm giving this one a 4.25.
Nice. I'm going to go with a 4. We know what's crazy, too, is if you get rid of the first 17 seconds of the song, it might be like a 4.9. So I'm just going to rip on it because I wanted the first 17 seconds to go away.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think that's the right call, but here,
Yeah.
What do we know?
Here we are. And
We're not producers.
And the record is 8 years and 1 month old.
Yeah.
So,
We're
thanks.
just two bozos.
Thanks for listening to us try to get our way through this. It was hard stuff.
Go Bills.
Anybody here hear the victory lap out here? I'm sure we've done the banner gag here, so we won't bother with that. This is a song from that record called In Flagrante Delicto. Oh, wait.
Everybody else.